Pro Australia, and this is Lawn Care Skull Sessions with my co-host, the Bearded Lawnsman.
Wicka, what's up, Benny?
Back to it.
Back on the mic.
Yeah. So I had been away for a week.
Yep.
And your dog did a podcast without me.
I did.
First time ever. Feel a bit left out.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I might just fucking bail on the whole thing now.
Yeah, all right, fucking catch you later, alligator.
But no, I'm back. Might sound whack, but I'm back. And had a good time away with the family.
Yeah, nice.
Now it's time to get back to reality.
Yeah.
Now, for everyone that is listening to this is actually our second shoot since we've been back. We did a freak shoot last week, right before this episode was about to come out.
Yeah.
And if you're watching this film, you can see I've got a PowerPoint right next to me, right? With
Yeah.
BJ's Wiki soundboard.
Chicka chicka cha.
And I wasn't thinking, and I've just reached over and just flicked the switches and deleted our whole episode.
Yeah, look, it was an hour and 27 minutes. We'll never get back, but it is what it is. It was.
And you know what? It was a learning experience because we did kind of shit the bed with that episode.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked. Was I hungover? I don't know. No, it was a Friday, wasn't it?
It was Friday. So, no, look, I take a lot of responsibility for it. I mean, obviously it was, we didn't really know what we were going to do.
No.
But, it leads us to what we're going to talk about on today's episode.
Yeah. Yes.
And we're going to be talking about regrets.
Oh, that fits in perfect.
Business regrets. Hey, we can even discuss some life regrets.
Yeah.
And just the word regret itself, because there is, people take the word in different ways.
Yeah.
But before we get there, let's discuss and run a bit of a plug for the big event coming up.
Oh, yeah.
Because as we're listening to this, what are we, 2 weeks away?
Yeah, man.
Less
It's
than
crazy.
2 weeks. So,
man, there has just been some incredible fucking generosity. So we've got so many things coming across the board. Like we got Skag SFC 21 on the door. We've got Benny's got no sound. What's going on?
Nah, turn it down now.
Nah, turn it down now. Or
It wasn't working.
I've pumped you.
I'm hoping that it was all working before, but
Yeah, no.
this is a lot better now.
Can you hear? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Sweet. So the event, 19th of August, it is going to be a Saturday. It is a 9:30. The doors will open. I think all the suppliers and distributors and stuff will be there nice and early to set up. Over 20 grand's worth of prizes now. So I'm blown away, man. I thought I would have like a couple of push mowers and maybe a couple of snippies to give away, but I've got like 6 fucking mowers, bunch of multi-tools, blowers, snippers, pizza ovens, Z-Grills Australia. It's just crazy, man. It's so good. It's so good. So
Now, if anyone from interstate, decides, fuck this, I'm going to go, just a heads up, we have a group of people that are probably going to stay at the Alex Hills Hotel.
I got a little update on that. The Alex Hills Hotel is full.
Oopsies.
we booked that motherfucker right out.
Okay, well, and look, we are, that particular night of the event, what time does it finish? 2 o'clock?
2 o'clock, yeah.
So, assume we'll go away. BJ's got to pack up the event, go home, wash his ass out.
Yeah, have a wank.
And then we might regroup at the Alex Hills Hotel.
Yeah.
And just have, a steak and probably some belly shots. I don't know.
Who knows? Who knows how it'll go?
So that'll be really cool. Look, there'll be, I wasn't aware of, obviously this.
Yeah.
BJ and I don't really talk
No,
that
it
much.
only happened last night. I got a message saying, hey, I got the last room. So.
Who got the last room?
I think it was Mark Bennett.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Did Turtle get in?
I don't know.
Oh, Turtle.
Am I wearing Turdy's hat today?
Yes.
Oh, I like this hat, Turtle.
Maybe he can stay in the sewer like the actual turtles.
Teenage Mutant. Oh, fuck, I'll drop that in somewhere.
So there's other accommodation around.
Oh, heaps. There's heaps. You can.
It'd only be a 5-10 minute Uber right away.
Yeah, it's not very far. It was just I was recommending the Alex because if that's where we're going to go back and have a few beverages.
Oh yeah, man. Just stumble upstairs with pair off with like another mower man.
Oh yeah, sound off. Yeah, some intimate, intimate fucking times. Intimate times ahead. No, it should be an awesome day. Look, it's been a long fucking couple of months getting it all organised. Few people aren't able to make it, but they're still throwing prizes and stuff our way. We have your fucking phone. We can't silence this bastard. So, look, I'll give some context. On the last podcast, Benny put his phone on Do Not Disturb. The fucking thing rang halfway through. Now he's put it on airplane mode to try and combat that. And
No, it's me watch now.
Oh, now you're what?
So I've got me watch on silent. The only thing is, if I get
you technology.
if I get a call, it'll probably come through me fucking computer.
Oh, sweet.
So what I'm thinking is,
maybe I should hook into these reviews now,
hook into those reviews so we can close the lid on this motherfucker.
Yeah, sweet. All right, so we have a few reviews up. I'm not sure. I'm pretty sure we haven't done this one, but it's my pal KP from Urban Turf. So she said, "You guys are fantastic. Love that you're not trying to sell ideas or products. Just putting the knowledge out there. So educational, many laughs, such a good listen. We're lucky to have you send us some socks, KP." So she does fucking like a daily sock change.
A daily sock?
Yeah. Well,
I change my socks daily. But
yeah, I know, but it's like a novelty sock. I think it's like a year of novelty socks she's doing. Oh. And I put some socks on and I was going to send a photo and I was like, I feel wrong kind of doing this because my legs don't look like they should be wearing the socks that I had on.
Yeah, I mean... If I was going to send a photo of my feet, I'd have socks on because my feet are fucked.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I got me all Mars feet.
Oh, okay.
They're like dinosaur feet.
Why don't you take care? Why don't you go and get them shaved and get them trimmed professionally?
It's not that. It's like my feet, I'm not a traditional shoe wearer.
Oh, yeah.
And so and then I've minced me ankles and I got like fucking ski jumps coming out the side, like just bits of bone. Still under the skin, but yeah.
Thank God.
So my mum still reckons I have beautiful feet, but that's what mum says.
Yeah, my mum.
She still thinks I have a beautiful nose as well.
Oh, you do.
Hey, mum, I know you're lying.
There's a lot more of it to love.
No,
that's awesome. Thank you. We've got another one there. It says, "Great podcast, thanks, fellas." That's from Simo. So I'm not sure if we read that one or not. It was a while since we've done reviews. But yeah, thanks, guys.
It's a while since we've had some fucking reviews.
Yeah, what's going on? Hook us up.
I know.
Any of your new listeners out there? I know we got some new listeners because our listens have jumped quite dramatically in the last couple of weeks.
Probably because I wasn't on, eh?
Probably, man. I think that was our highest ranking week. No.
I'm going to fucking check that, actually.
Yeah, no, it'll be interesting to see.
So, look, it's a little bit early to be saying some of this stuff.
Oh, shit.
But soon, everyone, all you contractors out there, the season's going to start turning. Now, it is still kind of cool here, but we were coming off the back of some pretty warm weather.
Yeah, that's true.
We've had some moisture in Brizzy.
Which is weird. It's not decent. Like, it's just been constant pissy weather.
It was pretty wet yesterday.
Yeah.
Vicky wasn't the only thing that was wet yesterday, mate.
Oh, look out.
I stole that joke off someone. I'm not going to mention him.
I think you stole it off our last podcast. You
yeah.
talking about yourself?
No, well, look, I'm not going to mention his name because he probably wouldn't, he's not the type of dude that would want that public. But
fair enough.
But
yeah, let's not put anyone in the doghouse.
Oh, yeah, I just had to fully bite my tongue. I was just going to say, so thanks, and bust his name. But I've held back. No, hey, I don't want any regrets on this episode.
No regrets. Speaking of regrets, so we had our 20th high school reunion on the weekend. Man. Can we talk about this?
Well, why not?
Hey, why not? Now, Uncle Ben, after his last episode of Here I Go Power Spewing, you didn't really drink, did you?
No, because I said to myself, like, I just don't enjoy it really. Yeah. Like the thing with me and grog is I get really bad headaches.
Yeah.
And, spewing is one thing. You can just hurl and you'll be right.
Yeah.
But I do get really bad headaches.
Yeah.
And honestly, I can have a good time without drinking piss now.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
You know, look, I still, you know, I had a drink.
Yeah, we were together for probably one of the most solid 10 out of 10 moments of the night. So that was good. But yeah, I did a bit of the opposite. I drank so much that the bank shut down my credit card.
I can't believe how much
and
you
then
were
it
drinking.
shut down Louise's credit card. So I don't know how many drinks you're allowed to have, but I was putting them away. I was in fine form.
Yeah. So, but for anyone who doesn't really know, right, we live in Wynnum.
Yeah.
Now, Wynnum has a name of being like a real bummy town.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's really beautiful,
Yeah,
right?
it's really nice.
But there is just heaps of bums around. And like all your local pubs are seriously just fucking pub flies and just bummy as fuck. So BJ was being a good Samaritan, accompanying me in the smoking area while I was having a dozer.
Bit of passive smoking for me evening.
Bit of a lung buster, catching up with some people from school. And this chick walks in, and I know who she was, and she's like, "Ben Van de Geeson." And I'm thinking, like, no one calls me that. All right?
And it was in a higher pitch, and like we both looked at each other like, huh.
She was fucking maggot.
Yeah, she was blind before she got there.
So then these two dudes, stumble up on the outside.
Fucking blind.
So they've been booted, right?
Yeah.
They stumble up, and one dude is talking like so quiet, like, "Oh, Durry, brother."
Yeah, it was.
You know, just
He couldn't move his mouth.
so he wanted a durry, and the chick's trying to pass him a durry, but she's got a lit durry in his hand, and for some reason the kook just grabs the cherry. That's when I knew I had to stay around.
Yeah.
And this dude, man, was like, he was fucking proper munted.
Yeah, like he was sweating in patches. So like one side of his neck was sweating and the other wasn't, like, and it was full, just pouring out of his pores.
And he had like the big eyes.
Yeah.
And
His teethies weren't as clean and as straight as they could have been, or there. He had a lot of missing teethies.
so dude, he's like, no, the chick straight up is just like, "Hey, do you have any weed?" He's like, "All right, I'll be back. I'll bring some weed." He's like, so first he offers up resin.
Yeah. We were just like, what?
Doesn't even offer up some actual proper weed.
And it was like, "Do you want some resin?
Do you want some resin?
Do you want some resin?"
So anyway, they decide he's gonna go and he needs to be back in 7 minutes. But the stipulation was, I'll bring back some weed and then I can lick your asshole.
Yeah.
That was the words that was said, right?
He did also include the word pussy. He wanted the whole cake.
Okay. Well, I mean, it makes sense, right?
Yeah, like you may as well do both.
Like it's right there. You might as well just aim for that.
What's an inch and a half between friends?
So he takes off and we're just thinking, man, this dude's slaughtered. Like he, you know, sure enough, in like 4 minutes, he's trucking down the street with a bong in his hand.
This bong was not like a little glassy. This was a fucking 1.5 feet long.
And you can definitely tell he saved up his doll checks for it.
Yeah.
It was a pretty sweet bong.
It was a pretty sweet bong.
And man, look, everything was still going all right. I don't know what happened. And then BJ, what happened next?
So she didn't want to get her arsehole licked, obviously. She wasn't that drunk. It's sort of he was like really just like passionate about things to come.
And he was dropping a few slurs.
Yeah. Okay.
That we're not going to repeat because it's, you know, derogatory.
Let's just say there was a kid that was next to me. He was 18, built like a brick shit house. I'll give him that. He was a solid lad. And he was pure redhead and the whitest dude you've ever seen in your life. But he told me that his dad was Jamaican, so you can tell the slurs that were going on.
I wasn't even talking about the N-bomb. I was talking about the one that was anyway, I'm not going to
Don't forget how many fucking drinks I had. I can't remember everything about that night.
So he was cracking me up.
Yeah.
But then things just escalated.
It really did. So you you were egging it on a little bit, and then I got involved.
bang on
You were
for the
you were
boys.
saying like, what about us? Like, are you going to lick our ass?
Well,
We
no,
were like,
I didn't actually say that.
oh, that was me.
He offered or something, and then all of a sudden he just opened up his mouth. He's like, spit in my mouth, spit in my mouth. And I said to the chick, I was like, no, don't do that. She's like, should I do it? And I was like, no, there's no need to do it.
Yeah,
Like,
no, just
And then she just like leaned over and did it, and he accepted it.
and it wasn't a one-time deal.
I gagged,
You gagged.
put out me durry, and tried to walk out because it was kind of gross.
I stood up, threw my hands in the air, and I was like, what the fuck? I was in shock. Like, not many things shake me, but I was like, whoa. Because not only did she do it once, but she went and gave him tour. And I was like, no, that's too many.
Huck tooey.
Yeah, one was funny. And now it's like you're almost in a serious relationship with this guy.
Yeah, so I was just like, oh man, is this what, like, do you have to do this to like pick up these days?
Well, mate, some of the stories that we were being told were just next level. So I thought that
Here's BJ saying like, we've been married for like 20 years, what do you got to do these days? Rah, rah, rah. There's this chick that we went to school with, and she had a boyfriend when we were in like high school.
Yeah.
They got married, but they've just divorced. And she said straight up, she's like, I'm a sex addict. And I was like, oh.
Yeah,
okay.
I panicked.
And then, anyway, it turns out she's actually slept with more women than BJ and I have together. So,
The greatest line that I've ever heard in a pub, I have no safe word.
Yeah. She said she has no safe word.
Some men that'd probably make them hard, but made me soft and intimidated. So I like scuttled away. It's like, oh shit.
So it was a very interesting night.
It was.
Typical Wynnum night.
It was, yeah. Did terribly on the pokies, so we all put in $70 to have a feed and everything. And then we got 80 back, and I had to buy a couple of drinks after my card got declined. But then I threw the rest through the pokes. I got nothing. I hate the new pokies. I don't like it. I want the old ones, the old ugly ones.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, we played the pokies probably about a year ago.
Yeah.
And Vicky came up. She pulled out a 700 or something.
Fuck. I always try and get Lou to play because she always has good luck. I just fucking donate and walk
We've always
away.
got our bloody kids with us, and it's just
Yeah.
pain in the ass.
Yeah, well,
throw
Archie's
a pineapple through and it's gone in fucking 5 minutes.
Archie sees all the flashing lights. He's like, fucking catches. I'm going in there. So, no, it was a fun night. I woke up okay, to be honest, yesterday. I thought I was going to be fucked up, but no, it was okay.
That's good,
I'm
man.
feeling a bit, how you going now?
It's a work day.
It's a work day, so.
All right, so moving on to today's topic. Look, we're going to be talking about regrets. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up is just because the industry at the moment is just, it's just not as buzzing as what it was.
No.
And I'm sure that there are a lot of businesses thriving, and you know, that's quite normal.
Yeah.
But what I mean is the industry is just not as lucrative as it was 12 months ago. And, you know, it's just a good time to reflect before the season.
Yeah.
Like, we sort of have probably gotten through the brunt of winter. You know, a couple of weeks' time, it'll be spring, and, you know, it's time to, you know, ruffle the feathers a little bit.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
And the word regret, like, I'm not one of these dudes that necessarily, you know, I don't really follow the business coaching and, you know, but you hear it. And a lot of the time, you know, these people talk about you can't live with regrets.
Yeah.
And I am just always looking at it and thinking, like, do they mean you can't live with regrets as in you can't own up to the regrets you've made, or you can't you can't carry the baggage around? I've just always been in the mindset that if you can own up to things that you've regretted,
Yeah.
you can learn from it.
Oh, 100%.
And you can learn from other people's regrets.
Yeah.
I mean, look, I'm not saying I carry the shit around, but man, I have so many regrets.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
many
me
business
too.
regrets. Like if I had done things a certain way than what I did in almost every aspect of my business, who knows where I could be.
I think maybe the point is to not dwell on them and use them in daily, like as a daily driver, as an excuse to, I wish I did this, like be a bit of a downer about it. It's like take the experience, learn, as you said, and then try to move on.
Yeah, and I think that is probably the point of where I'm coming from and
Yeah.
what I want to talk about because, look, let's face it, if you don't live with any regrets, to me, it's just pig-headed.
Yeah, perfect.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I think, evolving as a business and growing as a person, you have to be able to recognize the regrets that you've made and look at things and be like, okay, I could have gone this way. I went this way.
Yeah.
And, some of this stuff can be minor.
Yep.
Some of this stuff can be pretty dramatic. So I'll kick it off, I think one of my biggest regrets, now I was really young when I was in business, started at 16. And so the mindset, wasn't really there.
You kind of had choices, hey, like you were still living at home and you didn't have to make bank to like pay rent and things like that. You just, like, was it a beer money job when you were a kid, kind of?
Look, not really. It wasn't necessarily like that, but, at the same time, when I got into the business, we bought an existing mowing run.
Yeah.
And it was all body corporate. We essentially had, 60 blocks of units, tight root density, almost no hedging and gardening.
Yeah.
Very regular, 2 weeks in summer.
Yep.
Then we'd go to 3 weekly in your spring and autumn months, and monthly, you'd go to winter.
Yep.
And, it was really just, it was kind of like the perfect little business.
Yeah.
And, like getting to my regrets, when my old man left the business, and even when he was there, like we were a bad influence on him.
Yeah.
I say I had like a friend that didn't come from the best family life.
Yeah.
And he lived with us, and then I think he left school. He was a grade below me and he was already out of school.
Oh, really? So grade 9?
No, I left in year 11.
Okay.
And I was already mowing.
We must have just crossed over. Hey, like you must have just left as I came to school.
I went to school with you for a little bit.
It was a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh.
So I left second term of
I think
year
you might have
11.
been like I was kind of finding my feet there.
I left midway through the year.
Yeah.
And I was probably out by June, July, and I
Yeah.
was mowing by October.
Yeah.
So anyways, this was back in 2002, and it was very dry.
Yeah.
Very, very, very dry. Now, the work that we had was locked in. You just really had to show up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you could see your push mower lines in the jobs, right? And when my old man wasn't there, we used to do dumb shit like, pull the whippersnipper off for a minute, do the front edge.
Yep.
Fucking send off the invoice. Just all sorts of, dumb shit. And I believe that there's still like adult contractors that do this now.
Mm.
And it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It kills businesses.
It
Like
does.
we lost so many jobs because of it. And, I reckon by the time I was like 19 or 20, I had already looked back at that and said, if I wasn't just such an immature fuckhead, I could have really built upon that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you walked into it. You wouldn't have understood how easy that work was compared to what was coming without it.
Not
Like
not if I
dropping
actually,
your pushy on a footpath.
if you could look in a glass ball and even just look
Yeah.
at 5 years, down the track. And here I am in these fucking shithole rentals.
Hustling like fucking crazy to try and get something bigger and better. Yeah, I can only imagine that would have been a bit of a regret.
Yeah, so, I mean, that's just the tip of the iceberg for me, but it's one of my earliest regrets.
Yeah.
And heaps of other dumb shit too. Like, look, I'm not the most polished person, even now.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, I would go to work with a T-shirt stuffed in the front of me, Dax.
Yeah.
Wouldn't even wear a T-shirt the whole day.
Yeah.
You know, and look, I don't think you have to be super mega well presented.
Yeah.
But like, you know, you build up reputations in the areas that you swing around.
Yeah.
And I honestly just think for, you know, like it was me and a mate, and we were two like really good go-getters as well.
Yeah.
But we just didn't give a fuck about growing, and we didn't think about the future at all.
And I don't think you do, like at that age, like because you started so young, when you started seeing some cash rolling into the pocket, you probably were like, "Oh right, this is it." Like you didn't know, and there was no YouTubers even from the US and shit like that back then. So
There was
you don't know where the business can go. Like you see gyms and you're like, "Oh, they're gyms because they're gyms." Like there wasn't really that many other franchises around at the time. Maybe VIP and Sneaky Grahams here and there, but like realistically, you had no peers in the industry. Now you see these people on Instagram and Facebook and in groups just absolutely bawling, and you're like, "Fuck yeah!" It makes you hungry.
You know, and in hindsight, 2020, if you look at, let's say, someone like Tyson from EPMS, and obviously there's others, just that Tyson is the one that I know. You know, he had a similar type of business.
Yep.
When he first, you know, but obviously he was much older and he had a family and everything like that. And, you know, like he's built this thing up where he had like 20 workers.
Yeah.
And, you know, there's obviously a lot of different stresses that come with that. But, you know, you got 20 dudes out there. Let's say it was 20 dudes that were doing 10 different runs, because I believe that's probably what it was.
Yeah, a 2-man cruise.
You know, and you just like think about the money.
Yeah.
Not only the money that you're turning over, but the money that you're making from each person.
That's it. And there's a lot of behind the scenes people too. So there's probably like they'd probably have 3 admin staff at minimum now. No, more?
No, they do.
They do everything.
Well, I mean, look,
like Tyson and his missus.
Yeah, look, it's different now because they bought the whole franchise.
Yeah.
So it is different now, and I probably don't really know the inner workings. But even when the business was huge, the way that, like, really, they just had to sort out scheduling and invoicing.
Oh, fucking
and
scheduling.
Because everything is regular, you're just changing dates.
Yep.
That's all you're really doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, there was some regrets that I always kind of look back on, and I always thought, you know, geez, if I was just that little bit more mature.
Yeah.
And because really what we were doing was just straight up dishonest. We're just robbing these body corps.
Yeah.
And they're wasted opportunities. So
huge. And it's not like you couldn't retain that business and then sell it if you wanted to move on. So it was just gone forever.
I didn't completely kook it. Like I did sell that business eventually.
For more?
Don't know. Like my dad owned it.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so my story is that eventually I went and worked at a college.
Yeah, that's right.
For a little while. We kind of palmed off. We sold that business.
Yep.
You know, Dad kind of got his money back. I hope.
Yeah.
And, you know, I just went and did that until I decided to start up again. One thing I don't regret is I was always very anal with my servicing.
Yeah, okay.
And it came up the other day, like how often are people changing oil and push mowers?
Yeah.
I don't even know how many hours you're supposed to do it. But, you know, back when we were mowing 10 to 12 lawns a day, I'd done the oil every week.
Yeah, I think you had a routine of like every week.
Every Friday, yeah.
Yep.
Every Friday, Arvo, come home, and I just switched the blades out. So we only ever ran 2 blades on the push mowers. Lots
Oh,
of dudes.
really?
Yeah. I'm telling you, for over a decade.
Really?
Yeah.
I've always been a 4-banger.
Well, I just
Bought it, came with 4, so I just kept putting 4 on it.
yeah.
It's all right, you're cutting costs. But
I-
remember
I-
the
industry.
The industry back then.
Back then, this is 20 years ago.
You could cut the dust with a fucking 2 blades. Like, there really wasn't those massive. Like, we've had some weird seasons. Like, I remember, like, because we were pals since, like, you were mowing, and we had a lot of drought. We had a lot of dry weather, and hopefully we don't fucking see that again. But, like, realistically, you wouldn't need much more than 2 blades to rock and roll.
No, I mean, look, and I don't even know if OEMs were bunging on 4 back then. You know?
Yeah, true.
So mowers just performed completely fine.
Yeah.
But it is different now. I mean, I'm running double blades on 0 turns, so
Yeah, that's it.
It's completely different.
It is
and OEMs aren't doing that. So,
Oh, man. Well, look, I was lucky because I learned from a lot of your regrets, and it sort of helped me out. And I did enter into the business where there was a little bit, I think it didn't really transfer to our industry, but there was like Keith Calfirst and there was a few other ones that were there, and just got the mind working on quoting and things like that. But realistically, I basically vacuumed what you'd done and sort of changed it up for myself. But oh, look, I think consistency of service was one of my biggest regrets when I was younger. I think letting people take advantage of my relaxed attitude when I first started, I think that's one of my biggest regrets. I could have grown so much quicker and so much bigger if I didn't have like the she'll be right attitude. Like I didn't need to make a massive amount of money because of my accident and stuff. We had a little bit of money in the bank, behind us, and I was just rolling. And then, eventually that money dwindled away, and I was like, fuck, like I could have made enough money to keep that money, but I didn't. So that was a huge regret. I think consistency of servicing was huge for me, and I made a few purchases. Like I bought that walker, that secondhand walker.
yeah, surely you got to.
That was
Surely you got to hold that as a regret,
that
right?
was fucked. Yeah, that wrecked me on so many levels, like just downtime and cost and
realistically, you had to start again over that.
I did.
Like what I
yeah.
mean is start again with a new machine.
No, well, so my first 2 machines, I still didn't have one commercial machine, and I'd already spent. And look, I could have probably bought almost a commercial machine for what I paid.
I do want to probably put it out there that some of these things are just stepping stones to what you can eventually become.
Yeah.
So, not everything. Like, there was a conversation, and I believe Gary now might be sort of on Aussie Lawn Stars, might actually be exploring this conversation a little bit more thoroughly.
Yeah.
About equipment, and there's always this bullshit arguments. And
Yeah.
when you read things on threads, it's not, some people, they're probably saying the right things, but they're just using the wrong words.
Yeah.
It comes off very harsh. But, like, say, for example, in my lifetime, I've rebuilt my trailer like 3 or 4 times.
Yep.
But I don't see that as a regret because I didn't have the capacity to do it right the first time.
Yeah.
It's not like I, 10 years ago was like, hey, 10 years from now, we're going to be at the forefront of stand-on mowers and, we're going to have these. My phone is on, so did it come through the computer?
Yeah, it did.
Close this.
Close that motherfucker.
Fucker up. Sorry, my phone's bloody.
Ben.
Give us a hand here, brother.
Fucking hell. Just pull it. Just sweet.
So, back to my story.
Back to the lab again.
Yeah, it's not like I could look in and go, hey, I'm going to have a 61-inch stand-on mower. Or my business is going to require that.
No.
It was very much. So I don't hold that stuff as regrets. Like, we got to differentiate mistakes
from regrets.
Well, no,
Look,
that's not even right.
I know. Look,
It's just those stepping stones.
yeah.
So,
So I'm the same with my trailer too. Like I didn't know that, a year after I invested this money into this gigantic fucking trailer to drag around, all my equipment, I didn't realize that I'd have another 4 guys and now they don't need this massive trailer. And I think that in some situations, it's a massive hindrance. So my advice to everyone who asks me about, because I get a lot of people asking for the plans for my trailer, and I'm like, look, just make sure you need what I have.
yeah.
Because it's big, it's high. You really have to try and weigh up whether you need that or not. But look, it's a fantastic trailer. We just resurfaced the whole thing actually on Thursday, all the back and stuff. So we've had that for 2 years and it's still going strong. But yeah, I think like that's another one of those things where I'm like, fuck, is it a regret or did I just,
No, see,
I just didn't know.
Yeah.
And
So look, that I don't think that's typically a regret. And something that runs along the lines of that is like all of these 32s,
yeah,
and you see some people selling them.
Yep.
And, there's other people on the outside who are actually pouring the blame on people like you and me who are pushing this concept, right? Now, some people, I still believe, like I just stand by what I've said.
Yeah.
Is there's nothing better than being equipped.
Fuck yeah.
But you have to do the rest of it. You can't just buy the machine.
Yeah.
And, look, we have said it publicly. Sometimes this work just magically appears. Like I'm not a spiritual dude.
No, I get it.
I'm not a spiritual dude, but like it happened to me. Like we bought our Skags, right?
Yeah.
And then I nailed down a 48, like my biggest mowing contract ever.
Yep.
Now, if we still had our 42-inch country clippers.
Fuck, do you remember we did have my country clipper there for one bit, and in the time it took us to mow like 10 acres, he'd rolled over maybe like 2.5, 3, and I was just like, fuck.
But, so what I was really getting at is some people have bought these 32s and with the intention of, targeting extra works and stuff. And sometimes it hasn't worked out for reasons unknown.
A lot of the time you see it and reason for sale is it's just not working for them. Like they've, some people pick up contracts where now a 32 is just not going to work. Things are getting smaller. Like I know around us, we've got so many units and townhouses. I saw a fucking townhouse the other day with a gate. So it had hinges and a lock. You couldn't take a wheelie bin through there. You couldn't even take your laptop through there. It was that small. I was not going to fit through it. And we had to double take. Like I'll try and get a photo on the way home. But it had a latch and a fucking and everything on it. And it was literally probably 30 centimeters, 40 centimeters wide. I was like, what the fuck is the point in that? Like gutters are overlapping, all this crazy shit that you just can't, like there's no point in even trying to take a mower through. Like people are taking mowers through houses and,
man,
we've got one of those right now.
I've done that shit.
Oh, it's gross.
Before we move on with the rest of our conversation, it's time to plug our latest sponsor, the Lawn Shed.
Yeah, sure.
While BJ fucking coughs his guts up during the ad.
Fucking hell.
So we want to welcome the Lawn Shed and thank you for supporting the podcast.
Big time.
These dudes, they've been in the industry for a while, and the Lawn Shed is a sector of living turf.
Yep. So they're trying to get a piece of that contractor market. So
and they're coming to the table, man, with trade prices and trade packs and good shipping and
huge.
Working with the contractor community as well.
Yep.
That's us.
That's us.
So and there's been a shortage too of chemicals like locally. I'm not talking about just locally for us.
Yeah.
But in your local produce stores, Bunnos, all these types of things. But now, these guys straight from the warehouse, you can jump on the Lawn Shed website.
Yep. So all the links are now in our bio on our Instagram. All of the
on mine.
Not on yours.
Okay, bastard.
I'll have to teach you. I can't log into your Instagram.
Yeah, I know.
So Lawn Care Skull Sessions Instagram page, we've got all the bios there. So it'll take you directly to the page. With the lawn shed, you just have to sign up. It takes like 2 minutes. They'll send you a confirmation email, and then you have your account set up, and you can start reaping those discount benefits.
Now, to create the account, you need to specify where you heard of the lawn shed.
Yeah.
And if you don't click Lawn Care Skull Sessions, BJ's going to thump your face in.
Yeah, I'll fucking hold you down and kiss you real hard. You'll never forget that.
So clicking Ben and BJ with the Skull Sessions will give you your trade discount prices. And, then you can order all sorts of industry favourites.
Yep.
Your Barricade, your Bow and Arrow.
Yep. Spartan.
Glyphosate.
Glyphosate 650. Bit of everything.
Yeah, so get amongst the lawn shed.
Yeah.
And also, from what I understand, is if you become like a pretty regular purchaser, like if you got a really big business,
Yeah.
and you're just racking up, buying heaps of different chemicals and stuff, they'll actually assign you a rep.
And there's no better time. So we're heading into spring. So stock up, do one bulk purchase. And look, you don't have to go to your produce store. You can get it delivered to your door.
Oh, damn.
Fuck, I'm getting good at this.
We didn't even have that shit written down.
Prick it, bear.
Something to also note, in Brizzy, the fucking clover and bindies come a little early.
Oh my God. So yeah, we've done a few. I've got to go and do a touch-up spray at one of my villages. We did a spray maybe like 4 months ago, and it hammered everything out. And then I rolled in there on Friday, and it's fucking cooked. Like,
Usually March, April, and then again, usually September, I would say.
and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I think the fact that I've been using Buffalo Master for the last 8 years has really eventually caught up with me, because I don't think... So now I've got Bow and Arrow, and I think I'm going to try Spartan, and I think they have the same active ingredients. So, yeah, I think the Buffalo Master just hasn't been slapping as well, as the kids would say. Hasn't been slapping as well.
The kids say that?
I don't fucking know.
My kids don't say that. I'll slap the faces in.
No, but no, we'll have to do a touch up, man. I fucking hate clover.
Usually I would probably prefer to wait until it was like 16 degrees at night.
Yeah.
But
Didn't you say this morning? Oh, maybe it was Lou when I spoke to her. There's supposed to be a heat wave rolling through.
fucking great.
So she's heading to Adelaide this weekend, and it's me and Archie. So we might come and hang out with you. Maybe fucking go and feed some horses or something.
Yeah, hey, I do that all the time.
Yeah, fucking. Yeah, typical fucking.
Do you have a horse noise in there on the soundboard? Boy, oh boy.
Yeah, no horse noises. I didn't think I'd need one. So, next best thing.
Back to regrets. Was there anything else noticeably just in your business?
Yeah, and it was
because really what we're trying to achieve here in this episode is that people understand, yes, we fuck up.
Yeah.
It's
taking a lot of mistakes to get to where I am. And really, that's the only thing you learn from. Like, if something's working for you, don't change that shit up. It's when something's fucked up, you're like, uh-oh.
And even in Catch Pro, I mean, I have really seriously fucked up some stuff in Catch Pro.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing good, but there's, business deals that I have where, and some stuff is unforeseen.
Yeah.
But sometimes you just run and grab something, and geez, you could have got a better deal there, or whatever it is. So we fuck up all the time in Catch Pro.
Yeah.
And I spend time every week evaluating things that I've done and going like, what is ringing now? Airplane mode.
Fuck airplane mode. Fuck do not disturb. Buy a Samsung.
moly.
Fuck iPhone. You're just an eye cunt.
Far out. All right, I'm just going to put the thing on good old regular silent.
Just fucking turn it off.
I don't know why I don't just turn it off. Sometimes I go to my phone during the episode.
Yeah, it's true.
And like, you know.
Well, hopefully, like we can get a bigger desk. Like I have some regrets right here. This desk is not big enough.
Nah, she's doing all right.
Nah, she is. I like the furry one. I got another one made. I've just been making podcast desks on me fucking downtime, which is ridiculous. But no, but this one I think is a bit too. I don't know. It doesn't feel right yet. Maybe we need to christen it.
Is it because we don't have fucking armrests on our chairs?
Yeah, no armrests. I feel like I'm sitting on a milk crate.
Can I just sidebar right now?
Yeah, of course
and
you
just
can.
tell everyone about a regret that I don't have.
Okay.
I have never ever bought an office chair.
Really?
Yeah, man. You know, like I just pick these things up off the side of the road. One man's trash. Got 2 in there.
Yeah.
Had 1 or 2 at the village.
Yep.
We got 2 in here. Never paid for one.
Yeah.
They're like $300.
Yeah, they're fucking out of control. Dude, what the fuck is, like, being in the chair industry right now, you're fucking balling. Like, my wife wants to get new dining room chairs, and if you're not going to fucking Crazy Clark's and getting your chairs, they're like $320 on special a pop. I'll be fucking searching for some fucking trash chairs. So all our chairs were from IKEA, and they were like, I think they were like $80-$90 each.
And
I
you
was
had
like,
to fucking build them?
Yeah, I had to build them. I'm fine with that. Dude, you should see the shit. I've built some crazy shit, like flat pack.
Dude, I have fucking built some crazy shit. Kids fucking stuff that they don't use.
What's the...
You build this fucking cubby thing where they can buy fake food and everything.
Yeah,
and then
yep.
A year later, they're like, no, we're too old for that.
Yeah, and it goes outside and then it swells from the fucking moisture in the air, and then all the fruit, it's fucking scattered from arsehole to breakfast time, and you're like,
These
what?
fucking kids' kitchens and...
Oh, you know, the best thing I ever did was we got one of those Vully fucking trampolines. I got some bloke in to erect it for me, and it cost me like $100, and it took him like 25-30 minutes. He was just like, bam, bam, bam.
Our last
He looked like he was on speed, but he got it fucking done efficiently.
Our last trampoline that we got, Shory was getting rid of.
Yeah.
And it was one of those springless ones.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he didn't live far away. And he's like, oh, man, I'm not pulling it down. I'll just chuck it on the back of the truck. And this fucking dude, it was a big tram.
Yeah. It's massive.
It was the most illegal thing I've ever seen. Just full rolls in. Hey, Benny, where do you want a new tram?
Did it look like those big fucking B doubles that roll around with the fiberglass pools on?
His truck is not that big, right?
No, it's the same size as mine, I think.
Fucking holy shit.
Just a tipper.
And when I moved from that house, I just was like, no, man, we're just, I just got the grinder out and just fucking cut the thing up.
And just ditched it?
Yeah, ditched it, just bought another one.
When we moved, we had this massive trampoline Lou got for the kids one Christmas, and it was just a fucking absolute waste. It was the biggest thing, and like obviously not used as much as I'd hoped it would be. But we actually sold it. This poor little dude came around by himself. This little Asian dude barely spoke a word of English.
I bet he could do a triple backflip on that motherfucker though.
He probably can now, but it took him like 2.5 hours to dismantle, and I was just inside, just like, I'm not helping.
See, I do that now. I used to load the couriers trucks for them.
Oh, did you?
Just because, sometimes
Karma?
No, sometimes we just had so much shit that I was like,
Get out of here.
Get it done right. Yeah.
Get the fuck out of my house.
And anyway, now I don't.
Yeah.
But I don't. It's not like I just sit there and I actually move, like go away so that I'm not just sitting there. But I always feel really bad that I'm not helping them load their trucks.
Yeah.
Because I used to do it and now I'm just like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah. No, well, I guess they kind of get paid to do it, but
well, it is their job.
Yeah.
It's straight up. It's not my job to load their trucks.
Yeah, fair enough.
So
I've helped a few times, like when there's like 10 catch bros for this poor fucking guy to fit into his truck. He's up there scrambling to try and fucking Tetris them into his truck.
And they're fucking whack ass at it.
Oh, so crazy.
Moving on, did you, before we started like talking about tramps and flat packs and shit, you sort of getting to the gist of a different regret that you had that maybe can help?
No fucking
of
idea,
our
mate.
listeners?
Oh yeah, I was actually one of our regrets is changing up our invoicing programs. So we were starting off and we decided to get Invoice to Go because you said it was quite easy to use, blah blah blah. So we started with Invoice to Go. Now, Invoice to Go in the first 3 years that we had it, the price increases were fucking out of control. Like they must have got quite popular.
Their business must have grown
Yeah.
because I remember that was the same thing with us.
It started off at something reasonable, like $200 a year, and by the third year, it was like $500 or $600 a year. It would just kept growing and growing and growing. Every month, we'd get the increase in price. So we decided to go with someone else, but instead of carrying that Invoice to Go over, it lapsed, and in between setting up this new program, we didn't drag any of the content off of that invoicing program to put onto the new one. So all the customer details, all that sort of shit. And they fucking hold it to ransom. They basically say, if you want your information, you have to pay us this fucking chunk of money, which was the same cost as
a whole year.
Yeah. So I had to, I just went, fuck you guys, and went through all of my customer details, and then I just had to ring all my customers and ask them for all their details again, which was quite embarrassing at the time, but saved me a couple $100. But yeah, that was one of my regrets, just not picking one decent and paying a good amount of money for a decent program. So we're with Rounded now, and it's like reasonably priced, but now we're thinking about changing over to Xero because we had our visit with the accountant. And she's saying that we really have to look into becoming a company, which, I don't know if I want to become a company yet. I think it's like sort of, I don't want to regret it. I don't want to do it and then, regret it, because there are limitations that come with being a company. Like you become your own employee basically. So
look, there's great advantages as well, but
there is.
I think I think you want to get to a point where you're turning over a certain amount of money before I think it's necessary.
Well, see, the turnover isn't an issue. It's the profit, because we reinvest so heavily in our business. It's like, where do you start to look into being a company with profit? Because turnover is not an issue at all, but profit is a bit of a different situation. It's not like we're not profiting, but I don't feel comfortable moving into getting like a wage and stuff like that. I don't know. It just seems weird to me. When Lou's skeptical on something, I'm like,
it is an adjustment.
Yeah, it would be.
You have to,
because you guys have only
we've been operating as a company for a year.
Yeah, okay.
And one thing that I just hated was Vicky and I draw a wage.
Yeah.
But if you, let's say you've got $50,000 in your company fund.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you can't just draw 10 grand out. I mean, you can, but you have to tell people.
Yeah. So do you have an accountant now and things like that?
Yeah.
You have to ring and be like, hey, can I get a sandwich?
Just flick an email.
Okay. But even that is an extra step. Like, I just want to fucking, well, I mean, I couldn't do it at the bar the other night, but I just want to be able to roll in, tap my card and walk away with what I need.
The option is that you draw a handsome wage.
Yeah. Fair enough.
But I mean, we're not doing that because then you have to pay, then
you have to pay a maximum. Yeah.
So we just sort of draw a modest wage.
Yeah.
And if we need company funds, we will draw that as wages.
Cool.
But look, I like it because it is just so much more organised, and there is benefits.
Yeah. So it's no regrets.
No, God, no.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
God, no,
that's
no,
really
no,
good.
No, we have no regrets. It was the next step for us for sure. So it was a way to just keep everything organised, separate Ben and Vicky from Catch Pro.
Yep.
I'm the director, but she's something else.
Yep.
We go like that. So.
A huge regret of mine was not joining the industry earlier. It was actually funny. So night of the reunion, I walked into the public bar and I saw two guys there that one of them used to be the director of this site that I used to work at. And then his son was there as well. And yeah, I was just talking to them, and yeah, they obviously left PFD, and yeah, they weren't fond of the place either, but it took them a longer time to figure it out than it took me. So I had a few. Is your phone ringing again?
Yeah, but it's on silent now.
Yeah, it's just vibrating my leg. Yeah, but it was kind of good seeing them. I had a few disagreements with them, and yeah, we sort of had a chat, and I walked away feeling pretty good about myself.
Yeah,
which was weird. I shouldn't be a dick like that, but no, I felt good. So another thing is not getting qualifications. I think I probably could have done a bit more to get like my Cert 3. So I had a choice at TAFE. This is like a long time ago, before the lawn mowing career even popped into my head. So it's this entrance into work sort of situation. It's like 11 and 12, and it's all combined in one. And I fucked that completely. Like, I did a lot of the modules because like it took me like half the year to decide that I wasn't keen on going anymore, and I stopped going. But yeah, that fucking thing actually came with a bunch of like horticulture. Like, I think it was Cert 3 in horticulture. You get your spray ticket, like, and I know that I've done all that sort of stuff there. I just didn't get I didn't get signed off on it. So
yeah. See, for me personally, like I'm not qualified in anything.
yeah, but see, I did the work. I just didn't get signed off on it. So that's what fucking kills me. I'm like, God,
but the knowledge is more important.
It is, yeah, it is.
Like, that's what I mean. Look, I'm not trying to encourage anyone to not get qualified, but
Isn't that your life goal?
It's my life goal.
Yeah.
Is to just, and look, the main thing for me was always, I need to earn money.
Yeah.
That was my main thing. So, look, I just think, let's just put it in its most basic perspective. If I was a solo operator and I needed, or my goal was to earn $500 a day, and all of a sudden I had to go spend a day somewhere else unpaid, and then pay money for a qualification, it just always put a spanner in the works.
It didn't fit the plan.
And when I had that much work, like, me not being qualified never really got in the way of me making money.
Yeah.
There was maybe one or two jobs, maybe I'm talking big spray jobs.
Yeah.
Where, yes, we needed spray tickets. And obviously I had to forfeit that. There was another opportunity. Actually, this is only really maybe not even 24 months ago, but there was a huge site that I had mowed with Rusty, big development site. Yeah. And I'm talking huge, like it was like 60 acres.
Is that Woodland? Is that down my way?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
So we, at the time, we had sort of done some cleanup work, just mowed the fire trails, bits and pieces.
Yeah.
And then 12 months later, they were starting development, like actual works. And they needed the whole site maintained, but we needed blue cards and stuff.
Yeah.
And I'd had them in the past because you could just go online and do it. Then they fucking changed it, and you had to do a 6-hour online classroom.
Yeah.
And look, it was great money that was going to probably come from it. And, look, hindsight 2020, I was out of the industry 18 months later.
Yeah, okay.
But, and I don't know if I knew that 100% then. But that was really the only time. Like, we were already pretty heavy into Catch Pro by then.
Yeah, yeah. You want to hear a funny story about that site?
Yes.
So I drive past it quite often, and they have started developing on there. So there's two houses, and it's something like, what was it, 27 hectares or something out of control.
So the site itself was like as big as a fucking suburb.
It's mad, and
but there's something like 100 acres of it is like designated bushland.
Wetlands and stuff like that. They've replanted it out. So it was huge, but at the time, like there was none of that. So it was just mowing the whole lot. So, but anyway, that site was all sold off, and then with the whole COVID thing, I think it's just in Queensland. There's a thing called the sunset clause. So they sold a bunch of this land, and then they've used this sunset clause to basically tell everyone fucking too bad. The price of the land has gone up too much. It's no longer yours. Here's your deposits back, and now they're going to resell it all.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so they've done that. So I've got another customer who built a $5 million house on the Brisbane River, and the builder did the same thing. He said, look, the price of everything's gone up so much that the 5 mil isn't going to cover it. He's already paid this man $5 million to build his house, and he's already got the money.
Wasn't that happening with Toro as well?
Yeah, probably.
You know, like people going out buying Z Masters and the pre-ordered machines that were going to basically be built in the factory and shipped over. And some people they've only paid deposits.
Yeah.
But, they think they're getting a machine for 20, and 6 months wait, logistics have gone up.
Yeah, everything's gone up.
The tariffs have gone up on steel.
Yep.
This $20,000 machine's now going to be 27.
Yeah.
And you've already paid your deposit.
Yep. Well, it's huge. Like the container cost went from like $7,000 to fucking $22,000, $25,000, depending on where you were getting it out of. So I understand those costs are there, but why, if you're pre-planning and you've got your business, you're buying machines in advance, I think someone's got to take the hit, and it necessarily shouldn't be the consumer.
Look, it definitely shouldn't be the consumer, but I don't agree that the dealer should do it either.
Yeah, no. I think the parent company should cop a bit of the hit. I mean, maybe if everyone shared a bit, but that costs all got dumped on the consumer.
And it shouldn't have. Like, it should literally just be, I don't want the machine anymore, give me my fucking deposit.
Yeah.
That's all it should be.
That's it.
Done and simple. Then that way, obviously the head company, let's just use Toro as an example. They take the hit, but, and I know that it's not always their manufacturing prices. Like the logistics was a huge part of it.
Because components come from all over the place.
But there was an increase the tariff got lifted or some shit.
Well, I saw, so we've been looking at new cars lately, and Toyota have actually got a video on their website now saying, we apologise for the delays and shit. So my sister-in-law's had a RAV4 hybrid on order for well over 12 months now. And the only communication she gets is when the price goes up. The fucking pieces of shit, man. It's like, where are all these cars going? Whoa. Your side of the table's going off today. You just fucking fell a couple of inches.
I'm not good at sitting still, man.
Nah. But yeah, it's funny though. Like they're bringing out all these new models of like the new Prado or Land Cruiser, or, we can't figure out which one it is, if it's a Land Cruiser or a Prado. The new Land Cruiser 700 just got announced, but then you go to buy something on their website and there's no specific time frame that you'll get any of these vehicles in. It's like, what the fuck are you making these new ones? Just finish all the old ones, you dogs.
Yeah, that's it.
So no, it's pretty funny. Like, I don't know how we sidebarred onto fucking cars. That was probably my fault, but...
Well, I'm going to piggyback on your sidebar and talk about mowermerch.com.
Oh, yeah.
Mower Merch is going to be at the event.
He is.
Which is pretty cool, I think, because, Will is... he's just a super relatable dude.
Yeah.
Very down to earth. But he has a new product in. It's a blade sharpener. Catch Pro will also be having these in.
Yeah, nice.
So depending on where you want to buy your gear from, you can go to either website to get that. But the blade sharpener, obviously we already have our blade assist.
Yep.
This is just another option that, it's a jig that you attach to the bench. It can clamp in the blade.
Yep.
And the jig has an arm that goes into your grinder, and will give you that consistency, just like the blade assist. What's different about it is the blade assist is probably a little bit more of, a workshop.
Yeah.
Like you
Yeah,
have
like
your-
I've got it on a stand.
Dude, I love your
Works
setup.
really
I need
well.
to get that.
Works really well.
But this jig,
So
you could mount it to your rig.
Yeah, I was just thinking, so I could probably mount that to the side of the truck and just take it on and off because it's just a clamp system, hey? You don't have to tack it in or anything.
Nah, it's a clamp system.
Yeah,
Yep.
sweet.
So, look, for me, I've never been into sharpening blades on site. Like, I see that people who do that, look, I'm not trying to diss them.
Yeah.
But I couldn't think of anything worse than being on the tools,
Yeah.
rattling off blades, jacking up stuff,
Yeah.
I would have that done before I went to work.
Yeah, sometimes I like to do those things at work though, because when I get home, like I kind of, as much as I do, still
If you've got a
involve
crew,
myself.
if you've got a crew, it's different.
I
You
could
can roll
literally
in.
go out to site and just bang a grinder across the boys' blades and
Yeah.
yeah, because that's what I do though. Now that the boys are out and about, like I'll go there and I'll check over all the machines, make sure all the blades are done. So
I remember when I had some dudes out because
Yep.
I was always really used to having one worker, and when I was home, the rig was home.
yeah,
And I could go and chill out, do some paperwork, have a feed, come out, grab a machine, do some maintenance. And then it got to the point where like my shit was never there.
yeah,
So I wasn't like you. Like I wasn't going to the sites to do that maintenance. To organise ahead of time to have that gear. But great point. If you're in a position where you've got crews, this will allow you to sharpen the blades on site really
yeah. Well, that's
easily.
it. Like,
And doing it without the jig, like I'm still, I've seen, people do a good job and everything, but there is just so much room for error. But with this jig,
Yeah.
it takes that error out.
Yeah.
It does.
and
it
it's
makes
like
it a foolproof system.
30-degree angle every swipe.
Absolutely. You can't fuck it.
Nice.
So check them out at Mole Merch. I
Yeah,
believe
man.
it's just called the Blade Sharpener.
Cool.
We will have them in at Catch Pro eventually.
Yep.
And so, depending, hey, you might go to Mole Merch and you might be looking to grab a shirt or a fucking mad hat.
I got like 6 shirts coming for the event day. So I went and
What
got
brands?
I got some.
Any dog brands?
No. I got some Skags, I got some Skull Sessions, and I've got some bearded lawnsman ones. So yeah, flash as.
Yeah, I was supposed to sort something out, but it's just not on my radar.
Maybe Will can take some nice photos and use them on his website.
Yeah. Or his socials.
Yeah.
So
I'd rather a website that's up forever.
diamonds are forever, and so
Because you know how sexy blokes are with just wearing a shirt. That's one of the worst things, hey? Like walk out and see yourself in the mirror when you're just wearing a shirt and just cock and balls just flopping around, just like, oh.
Actually, one more quick plug.
All right, go for it.
Tyson came around the other day.
Yeah.
And he's just going to get some blades and bits and pieces.
Yeah.
But he has been ordering the bad workwear shorts.
The new ones?
The new ones. Now,
Oh, yes.
unfortunately, they're all fucking sold out, right?
Yeah, I know.
They might have a couple of... I can't... Most of the sizes look to be sold out. In the khaks, in the black. People in our industry probably still would wear navy, but
Yeah.
I don't know if it's
Yeah, you don't get
super fitting.
You don't get the cock shadows in the navy ones.
Anyways, when I was ordering his crew a bunch of the shorts, the EPMS, they still wear high vis yellow,
Yep.
but they have a bit of green on there. It's a
Yep.
little bit different to the regular high vis. But I was like, man, Tice would look so fucking good in just the high vis yellow t-shirts and the singos.
You would.
So
They're like Corey Ballard shirts, eh?
yeah. So bunged a couple of them in on the order. And he's rocked up, and I'm just straight up like, take your shirt off. And he's like, no. I was like, no, I got your Prezi. Take your shirt off. And boy, oh boy, he was looking mint.
Really? Did you
in
take
this-
some photos of him?
I actually look, I did get one.
Tried to take photos while he was changing.
He's not one of those dudes who like,
But he's so handsome.
he just doesn't want to be like all over social media.
Yeah.
So,
Put one of those smiley faces over his head.
and I see Dan Cahill, he's repping his
Yeah, there's a few
high
people.
vis bad
Moa Mentor. He's
mentor. His missus is wearing it.
really.
Yeah.
I had my crop on the other day.
I actually bought Vicky a pink t-shirt.
Did ya?
Yeah,
Okay.
do the house painting in,
Oh yeah, fair enough.
or to like do me in. I actually heard that they're bringing out women's underwear.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh, finally something I like to wear.
Enough about that.
I can barely find men's underwear to fit me, so no. Look, my calorie deficits are coming along nicely, and those shorts, even though they're very tight, they're almost fitting.
Well,
They're 36s. What the fuck?
Nah, 38s aren't they?
Oh, I hope they're 36s.
38s.
38s? All right.
Mate, by summer you'll be pouring yourself into them.
Yeah, fucking, I'm squeezing myself in now. I'll be pouring myself in next summer.
So, do you have any other noticeable regrets that can help people in the industry? Obviously, look, we've talked a little bit about equipment purchases.
Yep.
Like, I don't like to sort of be so upfront and diss people, but like, I think, for example, like if you're going out and getting a hedge trimmer, or if you've done it in the last 12 months, and you, like I'm talking a hand hedger,
Yeah.
and you bought a petrol one, I would be looking back now and saying like, fuck, that's a regret.
Yeah.
Because the battery stuff has just come so far. But
has.
it's been there for a long time.
Yeah. It has.
Even if you don't buy something that is consistent with the rest of your gear, it's still, I think, just something that you'd look back on and you'd be like, man, like, I don't understand. What would ever be the point?
Yeah. Look, I think more than a hedger, I think maybe a battery blower. That was my first piece of battery equipment. And
They still suck the juice pretty bad.
They do, and you need a couple extra batteries. But look, I've always had a petrol backpack blower because, let's be honest, like perfectly honest, fucking battery ain't there yet.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree, but I think if you were going to go out and right now, today, after listening to this episode, you should do your due diligence still.
Yeah, I think there are options like
Ego Greenworks and stuff.
Yeah.
Are sort of, like
or
they're not that far away. I don't think Ego's that far away from having something really good in the market.
No, look, I have seen some stuff when I was over in the States that is fucking incredible from both Greenworks and Ego. But yeah, realistically, like I don't think the backpack platform there is quite there yet.
It's nowhere near as mainstream, mate.
No.
You're right.
But I think hand blowers are the fucking other shit. Because how annoying is it having a fucking pull start a blower every time? Yeah.
Just pull starting anything.
Yeah.
We have, petrol push mowers still.
Yeah.
But that's only because, like if I was in the industry, I would have a battery push mower.
Yeah.
Or self-propelled, whatever.
Yeah.
I would have one.
So I went to the dump the other day. I had a couple of bags of stuff on, and I was talking to a few contractors, and there was a chick pulled up next to me, and she was dragging bags off, and she was talking to me about her partner, or her ex-partner now, was fucking buying commercial equipment, and they were lifting it up onto the back of their ute, and instantly I thought of you, and I was like, fuck. I said to her, I was like, you really need to look into a different option, or some ramps or some sort of lift system, because eventually you will cook your back, and it doesn't, like, your back is just something that in this industry you want to keep.
A huge regret of mine was just not listening to my body.
Yeah.
And I see in the industry people, preparing lunches that are, healthy and, doing things like that. And I really wished that I just was more aware of all of that stuff, because it's gotten so bad. Even when I've gotten good, and felt like my body was okay.
Yeah.
There's still just so many areas where it's just
I don't ever think I've seen you eating a fucking sandwich.
not without fucking chips on it.
Yeah, that's it. Bacon and egg burger with chips. You know all the fucking. You know all the. You should start a TikTok takeaway hacks.
Fucking hell.
How to get chippies with your bacon and egg burger.
No, but like just like, hey, like you're saying, just lifting a mower out the back of the rig. I remember when Rusty came to work for me. He's like, "You got ramps," and I was like, "You got a fucking dick."
Yeah, yeah. I used to see you doing that, and I'm like, "Fuck that," because like I knew how cheap it was to get the mower box put on my trailer. What the fuck are you doing, Ben? You're gonna kill yourself. I know that you used to like. That's why you like the old Honda 195s, hey, because they didn't have that bulky.
They were really easy to maneuver. And like I had a pretty good when I was lifting out the back of the Hilux, I was at the perfect height for lifting off.
Yeah.
So all you had to do was take the weight and squat.
Yeah.
And if you had a good squat, then it was safe. Putting it back in the rig, that is when you're deadlifting from a squat. If you don't have a good style and you're sort of not being disciplined, which let's face it, you're doing it 10 times out in the field. Like you, and it's not like I've never been a gym dude.
Yep.
So it's not like I was really very experienced with any of that stuff. And look. It's a culmination of so many things.
Yeah.
But certainly, looking after my body was a massive regret. And I know work did it for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, I was pretty loose in my personal life as well. But none of that, I believe, was a direct result of how bad my back is.
Yeah. And look, those bad habits became routine, like, eating shit, smoking a lot more. You reckon you'd smoke as much if you weren't in the industry? If you had an office job, you wouldn't be able to smoke as much as you do.
No.
So it probably would have been easier to kick it.
Yeah, it was just one of those things from a young age, I could make my own rules.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there was no one that was going to tell me I couldn't light up a durry.
Yeah. No one would. You were smoking fucking restaurants when you started.
Oh man, that was the shit. Eh?
Oh, what the fuck?
I remember, just kicking back at a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd be on the dance floor and someone would fucking sting you with a cherry in the neck. Oh, sorry, love. You're like, fuck off. I'm on fire.
Youngins nowadays, like, man, they just don't know how mad it was.
Now they're fucking chuffing, fucking sucking vapes all night.
Yeah. Well, hey. We'll find out in the next 10 or 20 how that went.
Yeah.
No, look, certainly take care of my body. Even just simple shit like, when you fucking, stomping shit in the back of a trailer.
Yeah.
And you go to jump out and you just, you're jumping out from 6 foot high straight onto the ground.
Yeah.
Geez, you do that a few times a week.
Mm-hmm.
And... take it from me, man. Like I used to bunny hop out of that shit.
Yeah.
And even now, like I've done it recently, and I'm like, whoa,
it's like that's a big drop.
One day my fucking kneecap's gonna come out.
Yeah. Then look, now there's like TikTok and shit like that. You see it actually happens. There's a lot of videos out there of people like inverting their knees.
Dude, I have nightmares. I didn't want to talk about it.
Did you see the one I sent you?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Did you see the one I sent you of the wrestler?
I flicked it away straight away.
No, you didn't. Or did you watch it? He was like in the corner of the ring and he jumped off and both of his knees went back with... Oh, man.
I'm not watching that
He looked
shit.
like a fucking bow. And they stayed like that too. So he must have double dislocated his knees. But you know what? I was at the physio and I heard this, like there was someone next to me getting treatment as well. And I heard them talking because my guy just bailed out. And they were talking about this girl at netball who fucking dislocated both her knees. And I think Vicky was there when it happened.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, bro. And this poor girl was she was fucked up. And like she'd lost a lot of tone in her legs and shit like that.
Oh, man, that'd fuck you up so good.
Double dislo.
When I minced my ankle,
Oh, yeah.
I legitimately was going to bed every night and just getting like little shivers, like, because it was just kept reenacting
Oh, yuck.
in my mind, and it took me so long. And then what happened afterwards, there was a basketball player
Yeah.
during the 20 whatever it was Olympics, and he like dunked and he had his legs open,
Oh, no.
and you know how like the rim post is like a meter away from the actual bucket.
Yeah.
So he's flying up in the air, he's dunked it, and when he's landed, his leg has just jarred straight up against the leg post, and it's just fucking snapped it clean.
Imagine that. You just hit the deck and you're just like, oh, my leg.
More than a fart. Holy shit.
follow
I was
through.
watching it live on TV and I almost had a fucking heart attack.
You can't get away from it
Yeah,
either, can
just
you?
the sound of bones breaking, man.
Oh, fuck.
Anyway, we strayed away from our episode a little bit, but we do hope that what we've able to put in the mind of contractors is that it's okay to fuck up.
Oh, yeah, big time.
It's how you learn from those mistakes.
Yeah.
And other people's mistakes, you know.
You'll get a God mentality if you don't make mistakes, or if you don't accept that you've made a mistake. If you're like, oh, that wasn't my fault. Like blaming other people as well is one of those things. Like just fucking move away from that.
It is another thing too. Like I think we have to take responsibility for our mistakes.
Own your choices too. Like it's
There's nothing
you
wrong
can't
with it.
always blame the other contractor for winning something over you as well. Like you just got to accept that sometimes people have fucking better luck, better systems.
And there are regrets to be made right now too. Like we kind of started this a little bit on the episode that we cooped and accidentally deleted.
Yeah.
But you know, the market is changing a little bit.
Yeah.
And with COVID being over, people aren't pouring the same money into their houses. We have seen contractors talking about they're not winning as many quotes as what they were.
Not just seeing it online. We've experienced it in the last couple of months. I've done more quotes in the last sort of 2-3 months than I have in the last 2 years. It's been crazy.
Something that I just regret right now is I've just fucking blown me pen to shit.
Oh, bet you it's a fave. Yeah, look, I have noticed. So you did fuck that up. Too much power, Ben. But yeah, we've lost every single one of them. Every single one of my quotes that I've put in the last couple of months, we've lost. And that's after our price rise as well.
Yeah.
So people are still probably floating around that old price, and you know, I just can't have it. Like it's just not working for us anymore. It doesn't work for anyone, and I don't regret putting my prices up, but it is weighing heavily on my mind. Thinking, fuck, how's the industry moving? And just. I'm not picking up new work.
Yeah.
Sometimes I am. Like the other night at the reunion, it was fucking baller. I'm fucking doing new acreage and hedges for some friends and yeah.
But yeah, look, market's changing.
Yeah.
You know, we saw, you know, very lucrative weather patterns.
Huge.
That, you know, will sometimes obviously fuck people up, but there was work out there and people needed that work done, and you could just bung your price on, lift your price up, whatever.
Yeah.
Now that the industry has settled down a little bit, there is inflation in the market. I don't think that there's anything to trip on.
No, I think everyone's just having a little bit of a stall moment right now, like a little bit of panic. Speaking to Jono on the podcast that we dogged you on, he was saying the same thing about his industry. So, look, I think it's an across the board, like everyone's seen these like month after month hikes. Everything's kind of paused. People are fucking, you know, holding their wallets a bit closer than they were. And, you know, we're probably on the chopping block up the top. Like they rather fucking push their lawnmower man than stop their kids from going to daycare or something like that.
And it's always been like that.
And it makes sense. Like I know that this is a volatile industry when it comes to the weather, and obviously we're seeing a little bit of impact from financial stresses. But hopefully, now that the interest rates have kind of been on pause for a little bit, will help us sort of start picking up some more work.
And you can still be super profitable, without being so, without bunging it on. Like you can still be. There's no reason why you can't still roll into these quotes.
Yeah,
and look, you might have to come down from your price a little bit. We'll see. I think
if you're new to the industry, you might have to definitely work on your price and make sure like you and the customer will both be happy with the price. But I think me in my position, I've made my price. I'm going to stick to my price because I don't need extra work at the moment. But I'd like to push it.
I've always just been that type of dude where there's a lot of information out there, and it's like how to get this, how to get that. I've just always been that type of dude. Like your price has to be justified.
Yeah. But you're of the opinion too, like you're better to do a job for $60 than do nothing for 70. Like you literally for nothing, like doing nothing for nothing. Sorry.
You kind of cooked that.
I did cook. You know what I mean?
So no, look, I have always been under that opinion that look, there's people in our industry that can sit home for 2 days.
Yeah.
And their lifestyle and what they've done previously has allowed that.
Yep.
That's great. But if you're one of those contractors where you really, you need to be capitalizing on a 40-hour week, if it's, if you're doing ride-on work and your typical price is $120 an hour, maybe that's not flying right now.
Yeah.
To come down to 105 or 110, it's really not a big deal when you're talking about losing out on that actual opportunity.
On a whole opportunity.
Because what else would you be doing? You might be taking a fucking hand weeding job for $80.
Yeah.
Who the fuck wants to do that?
I know.
So I've just always been under that mindset of maybe you can work off volumes right now.
Yeah.
And it's not really like it's still all of that stuff is still creating more opportunities.
That's it.
I don't want to make it sound like I'm dogging the industry and telling everyone to be cheaper. There's little birds in the background.
There was.
But don't lose out on these opportunities by being so extravagant with the prices.
Yeah.
Because you might come down $10 an hour on a mowing job, and they might have a fucking relative or someone who is richer than them.
Yeah.
So all we're really trying to do is to just be aware of the choices that you're making.
Keep thinking.
Be aware of the bad choices that you have made, and let's all just learn together.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.
So, with that being said, my brother.
Yeah, as always, massive thanks to Skag for these new sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck, this is so much better. We've had some good feedback. Some of the episodes, obviously, at the start were a little bit quiet, but that was us. Now we're getting our shit together, and I think it's making for a better experience for the listener.
And it looks a bit tidier in here.
It does look a bit tidier in here.
Anyway, we're going to sign out now. We'll be back in your ears in a couple of days.
Yep.
And then the countdown's really on
to
the event.
It is.
So just remember 19th of August.
Roll in, raffle tickets galore. Everyone will be there. Hanser will be there. They called me on Friday. They said they want to roll through. Toro's put in.
Pray for sunshine too, man.
Oh, fuck me. Like, that's the thing that I'm worried about. I don't have a plan B. So if you're up here, we're just going to drink.
If it does rain, BJ will do a belly slide in the mud.
Yeah, well, it'll get pretty full pretty
There's
quick.
some mad muddy spots
Oh,
there
it's
too.
fucking crazy.
So.
Well, I mean, at least the moto jumps will fucking fill up with water. We can have a little poolside picnic or something.
Oh, boy.
Crazy.
All right, until then, I am at Catch Pro. He's at TBL, and we're out of time.
Peace. Hey, Benny, don't touch that fucking wall.